Good morning, students. In this class, we are going to discuss the composition of blood, and you may study the composition of blood in your plus two classes. Here, we are going to discuss some more details of this composition of blood. And blood is a specialized body fluid, and the blood that runs through the veins, arteries, and capillaries is known as whole blood. Okay, this is the blood present all our body. Okay, a mixture of about 55 percentage plasma and 45 percentage of blood cells. That means blood contains two components, the plasma and the blood corpuscles. Plasma is the liquid part of the blood, and you can see when we have some cut or something in our legs or hands, you can see some fluid is oozing out after clotting the blood. That fluid is the plasma part of the blood. Okay, about 7 to 8 percentage of our total body weight is blood. An average sized man has about 12 pins of blood in his body, and average woman has about 9 pins. Okay, and why this blood is present in our body? നമ്മുടെ ശരീരത്തിലെ blood എന്തിനാണുള്ളത്? What is its function? Its function is to transporting oxygen and nutrients to the lungs and the tissues, and for metabolism our tissues require oxygen, that okay. The main aim of blood is circulatory system is to transport this oxygen and waste material which is formed after the metabolism into different parts of the body. Okay, forming blood clots to prevent excess blood loss, and second function of the blood is to prevent a loss of blood when we have some injuries or something else. We know that it will clot, the blood will clot itself. Okay, this clotting is the another function of the blood itself carry out this function, and carrying cells and antibodies that fight infection. And another function of the blood is this is an important role in our immunity. It has WBC, and it fight against infection and pathogens, and which protects our body. And next it is bringing waste product to kidney and liver, which filter and clean the blood. Okay, and different waste products are formed after the metabolism, and the blood carries all these metabolic waste into the kidney as well as into the liver. Okay, liver is the site of detoxification. All the drugs or something poisonous material we are taken, it is non-toxication or metabolism of these occur from the liver, and all the waste materials are carried into the kidney for excretion. Okay, and regulation of the body temperature is the another function of the blood. Okay, and as you know, blood has four components. Firstly, we can divide blood into two. That means the blood plasma, liquid part of the blood, and blood corpuscles. These are the cellular part of the blood. Or we can say that blood has cellular part has three different types of cells. That means the platelets, the RBC, and the WBC. Okay, first we are going to discuss. In this, you have to study this picture. Here it is all given here. Only the explanation of this picture is coming under this topic. Okay, so you have to draw this picture and you have to study this. Okay? And blood plasma. Now we are going to discuss the first portion of part of the blood, that is the blood plasma. And I already told you this is the liquid part of the blood. The straw-colored liquid component of the blood is called blood plasma, a mixture of water, that is 91 to 92 percentage is water, and it has sugar, fat, protein, and salt around 8 to 9 percentage. Okay, the main job of the plasma is to transport blood cells throughout our body along with its nutrients, waste product, antibodies, clotting proteins, chemical messengers such as hormones and protein that help maintain the body's fluid balance. Composed of 90% of water, plasma is transporting medium for the cell and variety of the substance vital for the human body. Okay, it acts as a transporting medium, and it also carries a variety of function in the body, including clotting, fighting disease, and some other critical functions also. In this picture, you can see after centrifugation of the blood, we will get like this. The liquid part is just present in the upper region of the centrifugal tube. This is the plasma, and you can see the blood cell below the test tube, and in middle you can see the white cell. And next component of the blood is the RBC, which is also called erythrocytes. Okay, this is known for their bright color. This red color of our blood is due to the presence of this RBC, and they are the most abundant cell in the blood, counts for the 40 to 45% of its volume. The shape of the red blood cell is biconcave. Biconcave means it has depression on its both sides with a flattened center. Both faces of the disc have shallow bowl-like indentations. Production of red blood cell is controlled by an enzyme which is called erythropoietin, a hormone, not an enzyme, it's a hormone, erythropoietin, which is produced by kidney. Okay, red blood cells start as immature cell from the bone marrow, and after approximately 7 days of maturation they are released into the bloodstream. It is formed from the bone marrow, and the erythropoietin is the hormone which influences its production. Red blood cells have no nucleus and can easily change in shape, helping them to fit through the various blood vessels in our body. As you know, it does not have nucleus. It is an adaptation. Its function is to carry the oxygen. So it contains hemoglobin, a pigment called hemoglobin. So in order to fill maximum amount of hemoglobin, it's an adaptation to avoid nucleus in its inside the cell. Okay, and it can move very easily through the different type of blood vessels in our body. Its shape is particularly designed for doing that function. Okay, however, while the lack of nucleus makes the red blood cell more flexible, this also limits the life of this cell as it travels through the smallest blood vessels, damaging of the cell membranes and depleting its energy supplies. Okay, the red blood cell survives an average of 120 days. Okay, red cells contain a special protein called hemoglobin, which helps to carry oxygen from the lungs to rest of the body and then returns carbon dioxide from the body into the lungs so it can be exhaled. Okay, so it carry oxygen as well as carbon. Carbon dioxide is a waste product which is formed in our body after the metabolism. And this red color is due to the large number of red blood cells which get a color from this hemoglobin pigment called iron containing pigment called hemoglobin. The percentage of whole blood volume that is made up of red blood cell called hematocrit, and it is common measure of the red blood cell. It's the picture of RBC. Next it is the white blood cells. It is also called leukocytes, and we discussed the RBC, and its main function is to carry oxygen and carbon dioxide. And the main function of the white blood cell is the defense. Okay, it is an important role. It has an important role in the immune system of an organism. It's a part of immune system that helps fight infection and defend our body against other foreign material. Different types of blood cells are involved in recognizing intruders, killing harmful bacteria, and creating antibodies to protect our body against future exposure to some bacteria and virus. And altogether, it provides immunity to our. So WBC, there are two different types of WBCs, the granulocytes and agranulocytes. The granulocyte is a type of blood WBC, and it has small granules in its cytoplasm. We can see this granules while we are staining the cells. Okay, small granules are present in its cytoplasm, which are proteins, and there are three different types of granulocytes. These are, first one, it is eosinophils. Eosinophils is a type of WBC or granulocyte. Its role in fighting bacteria is very important in responding to infection with the parasites such as worms. They perhaps best known for their role in producing allergy symptoms when they go overboard in mounting an immune response against something like pollen, which is mistakenly believed to be an invader. And these cells count for no more than 5% of the blood cell in your bloodstream, but they are present in high concentration in the digestive system. So basophil, these are present less than 1% of the white blood cells in the body, and they are typically present in the increased numbers after an allergic reaction. And basophils are important in mounting a non-specific immune response to pathogens. These cells are perhaps best known for their role in asthma. Okay, when stimulated, these cells release histamine. Among other chemicals, the product can result in inflammation and bronchoconstrictions in airways. Okay. Third, it is the neutrophil. These are present in the majority of the white blood cells in the body. They act as scavengers, helping surround and destroy bacteria and fungi that may be present in the body. Neutrophils make up roughly half of the white blood cells production, and they are usually the first cell of immune system to respond to an invader such as bacteria or a virus. As first responses, they also send out signals alerting other cells in the immune system to respond to the scene. Once released from the bone marrow, these cells live for only around 8 hours, but around 100 billion of these cells are produced in our body every day. And lymphocyte, these are the white blood cells which include following different types. Lymphocytes and monocytes are the two different types of WBCs. Oh, sorry, a granulocyte WBC does not contain, the cytoplasm does not contain granules. These white cells include the following. Lymphocytes are three types: B cells, T cells, and a natural killer cell. B cell, also known as B lymphocyte, and they produce antibodies to help the immune system to mount a response into infection. You may have heard about the antibodies or immunoglobulins, IgM, IgG, etc. You may have studied in the immunology also. And second, it is the T cell, which is also known as T lymphocyte. These white cells help recognize and remove infection causing cells. And third, it is the natural killer cell. These are the cells which are responsible for attacking the killing the viral cell as well as cancer cell. And next, it is the monocyte. Monocytes are the agranulocytic WBC, and which is around 2 to 8% of the total white blood count. And these are present when the body fights on chronic infection. They target and destroy the cells that cause infection. And here it is given some more details of the lymphocytes. So are very important in the immune system, with the T cells being responsible for directly killing many foreign invaders. B cells, it contrasts to other types of white cells. These are responsible for humoral responsibility, and they produce antibodies, remembers an infection, understand. They are understands ready to cause body should be exposed in another action. They keep memory, and an infection occur in second times, they will fight against it, so immediately it is called a secondary immune response. B lymphocytes play the main role in the efficacy of the majority of the current vaccines, but in some cases T lymphocytes are also very important. It's also I discussed is some more details about this lymphocyte and monocyte. There are garbage trunks of the immune system. Around 5 to 12% of blood cells in bloodstreams are monocytes, but their most important function is to migrate into tissue and clean up dead cells. Okay. So these are the pictures. Yeah, you should draw this and you should study the picture of this WBC. It's very important that the shape of the nuclei. In neutrophil, it is multi-lobed. In eosinophils, it is bilobed, and in basophil, it is S-shaped. Okay, and monocyte and lymphocyte is also given in this picture. And the third component of cellular component of the blood is platelets. Unlike red blood cells and white blood, platelets are not actually cells, but rather than small fragments of the cell. We cannot say that platelets are complete cells. They are small fragments of the cell. Platelets help in blood clotting process. It's the main function of the platelets are blood clotting. and they gather in the site of injury, sticking to the lining of the injured blood vessels and forming a platform on which blood coagulation can occur. This results in formation of fibrin clot which covers the wound and prevents the blood from leaking out. Fibrin also forms the initial scaffolding upon which new tissue forms, thus promoting healing. A higher than normal number of platelets can cause unnecessary clotting, which can lead to stroke and heart attack. However, antiplatelet treatments are available to help prevent this potentially fatal events. Lower than amount of can also lead to excessive bleeding. Thank you. So this is all about the components of blood.